on Aging.
You're listening to Silver Moments with Dr. Marsha Baltimore.
Silver Moments.
That was a wonderful reminder that the government is helping the older folks. This is Dr. Marsha Baltimore on CRN Talk, and thank you for listening. I wanted to ask you how much exercise you think is enough. And what I answered to myself is in the same book that I told you by Dr. Woodhouse. 15 to 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, can improve your cardiovascular fitness. That's your heart.
15 minutes?
A day, 3 times a week. And that can result in increased function in certain regions of your brain. Like I told you, it creates capillaries. You stay within a relative range of comfort and find an activity that you like, not one that you just endure.
Oh, what a way to look at that.
Well, I think so. I think people who run, they like it. I don't like to bang on my hip, so I don't want to run. But I want to swim, so I do that. But it doesn't mean it's the only thing.
So what you're saying is that it should be enjoyable
and
Choose,
individualized
make a
to your enjoyment, right? And so doctors who work with aging persons have a common statement: what's good for the heart is good for the head. They say this means that if you control the same risk factors for heart disease, which are not smoking, eating right, and when our nutritionist was here, she told us about the Mediterranean diet, which has 6 vegetable or fruit portions a day.
6
vegetables and or fruit.
Wow.
Stretched out during the day.
Okay.
And exercise, you can contribute to the wellness of your brain. That's a 2-for-1 deal. Your brain gets helped by your body.
How powerful.
And your body gets helped by your brain.
Work in conjunction
It's
with
very
each
good.
other.
It's very good to know that and think about it when you're out there walking, pushing your wheelchair with your arms or whatever you're doing. It's a good idea.
You know, I have a friend, and she's 80, and whenever her blood pressure is up, 7 houses, she walks down the street, just 7 houses, turns around, comes back, takes her blood pressure, and it's down. The very first time I saw that for myself, I was in shock.
Well, she's
that
putting this
much.
All of these studies are impacted in that one little lady's walk.
Oh, my goodness.
She's doing what she's supposed to do for herself. That's great.
The blood pressure goes down with just a little bit of
Yes, but
effort.
you're giving us an example of what all the studies show.
Yeah, so very true.
So not only it affects your physical, but it affects your heart and your brain.
Wow.
So that's terrific.
You only get one of these things called the body.
Yeah.
Only one.
That's true. That's true. Well, I'm glad you talked about that. Now, the water exercises are a whole nother area. You know, they have classes in water exercise. Do you know that? And that's in the water. You don't have to swim. You stand, and you hold on to a rail, and you do the exercises.
That's how I started.
They do back and arm stretches, the easiest one. Cross-body shoulder stretch, I told you before, axial.
Axial. That's how you pronounce that.
Hip stretch. Put your hip up to your elbow on one side 5 times and the other side 5 times. And if you wanted to go slowly and easily, and the water helping you lift your body weight in pieces, the leg first, the arm second, you can call the YMHA or the YMCA, and they will have a class like that in water.
No impact.
No impact.
No impact on the body, the
That's
joints. Right. Interesting.
And that will do it for you. That will do it for you. So I think people don't know what's out there if they call the phone numbers like the gentleman just gave you on the interim phone number for the government. They'll give you more help. I think that was a wonderful thing.
You know, I took an MRI. I was crawling. I could not walk. And I had taken a fall, but I wasn't aware that it affected my body. And I went and took an MRI at UCLA, and they said that my lumbar 5 was degenerating. And there's no cure for degeneration. And they offered cortisone shots. And I had sat and watched the pool for a year. That is the moment I got in the water, and all I could do was walk up and down the pool.
But the water helps you keep up your weight, right?
I did not take the cortisone shots, and I feel absolutely no pain.
Well, you've been swimming for 17 months since that happened.
Has it been that long, Dr. Baltimore?
Yes.
Wow.
So now you're a swimmer, and the water is doing the job for you in a great part of the
It changed
service.
my entire
Yes, it
life.
does. It will do that. And you didn't have a real class. You only had me.
I only had you.
Well,
and
I
you were
used to
kind
be
enough to give me
Red
tips.
Cross instructor, so I qualified.
Yeah, you came in the door. I know that walking up and down that water is what started it.
Well, that's good. You had the
And
sense
like I
to
said,
do it.
I was crawling. I could not walk. Listeners, hear me again. Crawling. And I was unable to walk. Got in the water and just started walking up and down.
Well, this little book, Water Exercises for People with Parkinson's, is good for people without Parkinson's because the photographs are terrific, and you can have a partner on some of the exercises. If you're married, the two of you can do it. You can use the stairs. Stairs will help you with your hips. You can have your partner support your leg and pull the heel up until you feel the muscle tension in the water, and the water will help that. It will relieve the pain. So there's things you can do in the hip stretch and in the side stretch, the axion, as I said before, the cross body, so shoulder. All the stretching helps, and the water helps you.
Well, what happened is I had to leave yoga alone. I couldn't go into Warrior 1. I couldn't go into Warrior 2. And I was losing it till I got in that water.
Well, good for you. I'm glad you found
And I'm
it.
glad I met you.
Well, that's okay. I thank the American Red Cross for my training. There's Mikhail again telling us we're having a go out.
Hi, I'm Dr. Carol Scott. Join us